Okay, good afternoon. I'm Dimitri, somebody presenting on Yozzi.com. So it's a website for improving your writing. You submit some articles in, and then you could share them with the community. So how many of you feel that you have a language that you're writing in and you want to improve at a higher level in your writing? So Yozzi is a website to help you with that. Sometimes you need to pass a proficiency test, you need to study at a university in a different language. Sometimes you want to write more professionally in your target language, or it's just a simple point of getting understood. And so the website is aimed to connect the people who are writers and people who are editors, to get people to practice their skills, their editing skills, their writing skills. And it's a website that allows people to easily post their writing samples and receive feedback from others as well. Some different groups that might be interested in the website include the Polyglot community and language proficiency exam study groups and Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, expat communities, different Polyglot meetups and language schools, universities and diaspora interest groups. So any of these kinds of demographics and people I would be interested in reaching out to see if we could build awareness for the platform so that it could reach a critical mass, because it's at an early stage, so it might just be one community group, one pair of languages. So I was talking with Libor today, for example, who's in the audience, and I know there's this app called WeChat. How many of you have heard of WeChat before? I was thinking maybe I could tie it in with that, because a lot of Chinese people want to improve their English, and I've been studying Chinese. I started studying Chinese when I lived in Kaohsiung in Taiwan back in '93, and I lived there a little more than 2.5 years. And so I've kept my Chinese alive, but it's at an intermediate level. It would be nice to carry it higher, for example. Other ideas, for example, would be students, like I mentioned, studying at different universities from the language that they grew up with, or people living abroad, or bloggers, polyglots, and I already mentioned those studying proficiency tests. How many of you have used any of these before, or looking for any of these, like Long 8? Have you used that before? It's great but once you get to a really high level, it's not sufficient. It's smaller text. So the platform I have is aimed to be 500 words or more, so more advanced level. How many of you have ever used Medium or BB? These are platforms where you can write. You could already post in different languages on these two sites, but it's not aimed to get your work corrected. They're already expecting you to write really well at that point. And how many of you have your own language business or platform or something where you're trying to build awareness? Because it would be good for you as well. It would be guest interviews, guest posts, and so forth. So you could use it as a way to get links into your platform, search engine optimization. You have a choice also of keeping the article private or sharing it with others. So you could share it on the search engines and it's picked up for that purpose of publicity and SEO, or you could just have it as a private one, and then you have the link and you have a code, and then you send it off to the people who could correct it and give you feedback on it, and then you become aware of the feedback and so forth. So you're improving without all this all these public eyes having access to what you're writing about. And so it's, as I mentioned, it has a comment system, and it's helping you to improve your writing. So this is an example of the comment system. And so you go onto the site, and then you click. So you've created a platform ID. You could do it via Twitter, Google+, Facebook, or create your own. And then once you have your login, you could be in the site and be on an article, and you just, as if you're doing the drop and drag for a copy and paste over a part of the text. And then you have, like this was a part of a text. I have lots of questions to ask, but I decided to do it one at a time. So this is an actual text that was submitted by somebody from China. And then you could choose from a drop-down menu how you might improve on this sentence. And then you see that I wrote here, although I had a lot of questions to ask, I couldn't ask them all at once. And then I just put a note that the original sentence doesn't have any big issues with it, but the flow would be better if you would change the sentence like this. So it's a pretty short intro. I could actually show you the site because I have a few more minutes left before the other startup will be on a virtual presentation. So you could connect with me on Facebook for the page here, or Twitter, or both, and you could see the website's URL and my name, so you would be able to be a part of the project if you'd like to, or submit for an interview or a guest blog. If you have any questions in the meantime, please let me know. Yeah. Yeah, there's no cost involved. It's free. It doesn't have a full-fledged business model or anything. It's just a startup right now with an idea because I have a passion. I got the whole idea started because I've lived in 7 different countries and collected languages by doing so. So I've taken my 8 strongest languages that I'm able to write, let's say, an article of 500 words or more, and started blogging in them. And of course, I'm not blogging correctly in them necessarily. Yeah, you don't have to do anything, but of course it would be helpful. So let me see just a moment to. So it's 8 languages. So it's Mandarin and Norwegian and Greek and English, and then you've got the Romance languages. So Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese. So those are the languages for now, and then it could expand later. I'm working somewhat on Dutch and on German, so maybe I'll add those next. But you're welcome to submit. If you really didn't have one of those and you still wanted to participate, we could still do it in other, and you could still submit an article in another language, but it just wouldn't be one of the tabs. And then it would still be picked up in search engines. It would still be searchable in the search part of the website. And you could still share it with people. You could share it up with social media, or as I mentioned, keep it private, make people have a password to access it, and so on. So my idea, the biggest part of it, is to get 2 language groups together and one community with a few users, just to start to build the community and to build it up, because right now it gets picked up on the search engines. It's being seen by somewhere, let's say, between 700 and 1,000 people a month, depending on the month. So it's usually the simple thing with a new platform. It would go like this, and then eventually it would gain some kind of status and knowledge, and after it's been around for a while, it could kind of take off. So that's what could happen. We have a few more minutes before the other presentation, so if you have another few questions. No? I can show you the site a little bit if you'd like to see what it looks like. So just a second. I'll probably need help with that, with the technical side, for showing the screen. Okay, so we'll show the screen here. Or not. Okay. Maybe we should switch computers for the next presentation. Would that be easier? Okay. For those of you just walking in, we were presenting on the first one, which is on writing, a platform on writing called Yozzi. And we're about to present on FlipWord, which is a startup based in Silicon Valley. So it's 2 people from Silicon Valley who did a crowdfunding campaign under a new legislation in the US, where the crowdfunders become investors. And so we can show you, we have a few minutes here, hold on. I think because of this window, I think we're better to switch computers because you're not really able to see this properly. The whole setting is a mess. So let's switch computers for the next presentation, and because that's about to start. So this is actually the website. You can see the URL, and then it has the instructions in all 8 languages of the site, if you click here, and then it has articles in different languages. So some of these are articles I've written, and some are guest posts and guest interviews. And then it's just like a normal WordPress site, and then The difference is you would click, and then you would see that neither one of us are native French speakers, and if you are a native French speaker, you could be logged in and you'd simply do one of these things. Let's say you don't find this sentence right, and then it would give you the sentence and you'd change it and you'd suggest something else, and then you'd say it was because the grammar was bad, and then you would make your suggestion, etc., and then you'd push save, and that would actually show up on the platform. So that's like a live demo. Let's go over to the other presentation then, which is for FlipWord. Shall we do it on here? It's a URL, so I need to open the URL. It's right here. See this URL here? You need to type that in. So as I was mentioning, FlipWord is a startup from Silicon Valley, and we'll have Yinghua and Thomas, the founders, co-founders of FlipWord. They'll be on soon. How many of you attended the virtual presentation by Michael Campbell? Okay, so we'll be using the same platform. The difference is this time we have FlipWord also connected with me on Skype chat. So for any questions or whatnot, I can just send a text message on Skype to Yinghua and to Thomas. Okay. Okay. So hello Yinghua, hello Thomas, good to see you again. Let's see. We probably need help with the volume. Okay. Okay, testing. Yinghua, Thomas, can you hear me? Yes, you can. Okay. Go ahead and do a test to speak and introduce yourselves and FlipWord. We'll make sure we can hear you.
Okay, I'm guessing.
You want us? Oh.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Cool.
Cool. So I'll go over again. So my name is Thomas, and we're the co-founders of Flipboard, and we're excited to talk to everyone in Bratislava today.
Tell us more about the story. Would you like to walk us through a demo, or would you prefer to just explain the story of FlipWord?
So we have a presentation. So
We'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll give a little demo right afterwards.
yeah, in the presentation we actually have a little demo. So it should be fine. And also I have a website open right now. So later, after the presentation, if we still have time, we can actually show them.
Okay, perfect. Great.
All right, so we'll go ahead and jump right into it. So as I mentioned, today we want to talk with everyone about FlipWord, which is a tool that we've been building, and we believe is something that will help everyone get more fluent in some of the languages that they're learning.
Is it ready for you, or should we start now?
Yeah, we're ready for you. We can hear you. We should probably turn the volume down just a bit though, but we can hear.
All right. So yeah, FlipWord is a tool that we're working on that we think will be the future of how you will advance and progress and maintain your language over time. and we're gonna give you a little bit of an intro on why we're even building it in the first place, and then what it does. Today, although a lot of these stats probably don't match up for everyone in the room, as you all know, even though you are some of the best at learning languages and the experts in the field, you still end up losing a lot of the things that you learn over time, and for most people, that's a lot worse. So very few people that go through high school or work with an app actually end up getting anything useful so that they could go to a country or have a meaningful conversation with someone. And a lot of the issue isn't that they're not interested in it, and it's not that they're not capable, it's that they don't have the time to do it and they don't persist at doing it. And we think that that's a big issue, and that's what we're trying to solve, is to make it so that people can more easily, over time, learn a language. So we think that a lot of the things that exist today don't work the way that humans work. So right now, most of it's happening in a closed environment, such as Rosetta Stone and Duolingo, where you're learning something that's out of context, that doesn't relate to your everyday life, and often in sentences that you would never use. And in addition, all of that knowledge that you do learn is going to end up fading. No matter what you do, no matter how good the course is, you're going to stop using it at some point. And that's an endpoint for everything that you've learned is going to fade away beyond that. And even if you are super motivated and excited, at some point, for almost everyone, your review habit's going to fade. And then you'll just stop learning, and all of your progress will be essentially lost. So what we've been building is Flipboard.
So Flipboard currently is a Chrome extension, and we are also developing a mobile app. So what we do is we're trying to integrate language learning into everyday web browsing, and we will automatically replace a few words on any English website you are browsing into the language you want to learn. And as you browse the website, you will see quizzes along the way. And currently we're supporting 8 languages. So how it works is you browse the internet and you will see words that get flipped into the language you want to learn. If you mouse over those words, you will actually have access to a bite-sized lesson. So currently on the screen, you will see it's on someone's Facebook page, and they see this flipped word. If they mouse over it, they will see the definition of this word as well as the example sentence. And you can also choose to hear it. And we also have typing and speaking, and sometimes we will also provide a music video or a popular video on YouTube containing that word from native speakers of that language. So if you mouse over, sometimes you will see coins, and coins represent quiz. If we think that you have to learn the word and it's time to quiz you, we will actually integrate the mini quizzes into your web browsing too. So with Flipboard, no time must be set aside to learn. Instead, you constantly learn as you browse your favorite content. And Flipboard makes sure that this personal and but very effective habit will accompany through your life. So we're trying to be an app that grows people's life, not just temporary for years or 1 month.
So what we really want to do is much more than just making it a little bit easier for people to learn a language. Our goal is to not replace things randomly, but end up making it so that language is much more immersive than it is now. Like we said, right now people are in a closed environment, and we want to make it absolutely simple and effortless for more people to get fluent in a language. We think that building up universal understanding between people all over the world, if we can do that in a way that basically removes the barrier completely, we feel like we can make a much more connected world where people actually want to work together and have that mutual understanding so that we can go forward and do something good. You guys are all super excited about learning languages, and you know how close it brings you to other people that otherwise you'd have no connection with. Doing that is something that's extremely motivating, and we think we can get close to. So right now, this is our comparison with Duolingo, because, you know, we have to compare ourselves to someone. So right now we've got a retention rate that's about double that of Duolingo, which we're pretty thrilled about. And we've got tons of room for improvements. So this just kind of shows that over time, we're hoping to continue increasing this and make it so that it's super simple to continue using it, and it gets to a point where you don't even think about it. Right now, we've got a few thousand people have been using our tool, and we're going to keep on expanding that. We know that there's a bunch of different types of people who are using it, and we want to make sure to match that to as many people as possible. So yeah, we had a couple of really good, and that's that.
Thank you, Yinghua. Thank you, Thomas.
And then we can, yep.
So since we have the connection working here, we could ask some questions to the audience, from the audience. And let's see by show of hands questions that we have. Yes, over there.
Is there a way to blacklist some sites? Because I tried it out, but I don't want to rotate on my email or Facebook or some few sites.
Okay, Yinghua and Thomas, the question was, can somebody black out certain sites? So let's say they put this on the browser, but they have 3 or 4 different sites that they really don't want to be bothered with using Flipboard just for those sites, but then for the others, it's okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and now demo it.
Sure. Yeah, so we absolutely do have that. So one of the things that we understand and that we want to make work well is we understand that it's a secondary task within the primary tasks people are doing. So we have a blacklist, which will let you blacklist certain sites. So if you're on GitHub, or if you're on, you just don't like it on Amazon, then you can blacklist those super easily from either the page or from our settings menu, just by clicking a single button. We also have it so that you can pause temporarily for quite a few different durations of time. Pretty soon you'll be able to pause for certain times of day, and we're working on additional ways to make it so that you can configure it specifically how you want, so that it doesn't get in the way of sites where you really need to focus. But everywhere else, it's there, and you don't have to think about even turning it on. There's never a point where you say, I want to start using Flipboard. We hope that's the case, but if it isn't, that's not a problem. You're going to be able to use it anyways and continue progressing.
Yeah, so I don't know, somehow like my computer is a little bit slow, but you can tell that we have, in our setting, we actually have a lot of like personalized features for you to customize this tool to your own preference. And you can also change the flip rate. If you want to learn in a faster way, you can just adjust it like this. And also you can choose pronunciation. And also our setting is actually in the language you're going to learn. So right now, currently it's in Chinese, trying to give you a little immersive environment.
Okay, great, thanks. Other questions? No other questions at this moment? Okay then. Yeah, there's a question. You go.
How old is the software? How old is the idea?
How old is the idea? Is the question for you.
Sure. So I initially came up with the idea a little over 2 years ago. Just one day that happened upon it, and thought that it's something that I wanted to personally use. And since then, we've grown the team, we've grown the capabilities, and we've expanded the scope significantly. So one of the things that Yinghua kind of touched on, and that is really cool about the idea, is that it's we've seen a lot of other stuff out there that's trying something similar, but what we're doing to really extend that is that it's not doing things randomly. It's actually picking words at a time that thinks it's relevant to you. So we build up a knowledge base of your understanding of the language, which is then able to teach you as you go, and distribute words much like a traditional flashcard app would in a spaced repetition setting, to make sure that you learn it at the right pace and don't waste your time reviewing things over and over that you don't need to, so that you don't have to think about it. It will progress, and yeah.
When you
Yeah.
want to review,
So
how do you access the list of all of the old words you've been studying? If you just wanted to chill out and review some of them really actively, rather than using the newspapers and the regular way, but you want to just go beyond that from time to time and review what you've really focused on the last month, for example. Is there a certain feature that's included for that?
Yep, so we do have our own dedicated flashcard system, which will automatically let you review words that you have focused on previously, and it will just aggregate ones that it thinks are still priority right now that maybe you haven't seen in the page. So we have a quiz section.
You cannot. I don't think you can see
I'm
the
not
screen.
sharing the screen.
Yep. Yeah, we have like quiz system. We're trying to, if you really want to learn in an active way, you can still do that. And right now we're just trying to really focus on making the past learning experience well.
Yeah, right now that's a very basic environment that we have a lot of room for improvement possible.
Yeah, and also the current the user interface of this tool is a temporary one. We're working on completing a new redesign, and that will make everything like work much better.
And in addition, on review, we also have quizzes that, since it knows when you know something, it's also able to quiz you in line in page, and we have a bunch of different styles for that. So you don't have to do it, but if you do, it rewards you with points, and it's a good time for you to review what you learned, so that you can reinforce it for yourself, and especially reinforce it for the knowledge system to really check you along the way.
If you get it right, you will get points. And we're trying to motivate you using gamification elements.
And all of it's related to the page content that you're in, so it's something that you're already connected to and isn't out of context with where you are. While it is a slight shift since you're going from reading English to another language, we call it a micro task, and it's not enough to take to have you lose focus from what you're actually looking at.
Okay. Great. Other questions, anyone? Okay. So, thank you once again for presenting today, and we'd like to thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good time.
Feel free to try this out. It's free now.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Enjoy the conference.
Again, thanks.
再见。
So, we will present a YouTube video from another startup called FlashSticks. So this will be a short presentation. Some of you came into the room after I presented a bit on Yozzi, so I'll present on FlashSticks. I hope it's not going to be distorted when I listen again.
Hi everyone, it's Izzy here from Flashcards. One of the sponsors this year's event. It's great to see you all here for the Polyglot gathering. I'd like to share a little about the Flashcards app and FlashSticks notes with you and how you can get involved.
How do we fix the volume?
Hi everyone, it's Izzy here from Flashcards. One of the sponsors this year's event. It's great to see you all here for the Polyglot gathering. I'd like to share a little about the Flash Academy app and FlashSticks notes with you and how you can get involved. Here's a short video introducing the Flash Academy app.
This is Flash Academy, the new fun and easy way to learn new languages. Simply select the language you want to learn and dive in. Then use the easy short burst 5-minute lessons to learn throughout the day. Even pick up grammar and culture tips along the way, or maybe just play the fun word games to help the words stick. There's even an object translator, so you can translate anything around you. So download the Flash Academy app today and see where language can take you.
Our aim when creating Flash Academy was to develop an all-in-one language learning app that now includes an AI-based speaking challenge, a variety of word games and even an object translator alongside the interactive lessons. At the moment, the full Flash Academy courses are available in French, Spanish, German and Italian, but we have many more languages in the pipeline. Many of you have already heard of our original project, FlashSticks Notes. These colour-coded notes work alongside Flash Academy to help you learn as you go about your day, and are available in French, Spanish, German, Italian and British Sign Language. If you like the sound of FlashSticks and Flash Academy, make sure you check out the PDF we sent around to your emails for more information. We're offering everyone a free 3-month subscription to try out the app. We'd love to hear your feedback on the app, and we're even offering an extra 9 months free premium to those of you who share Flash Academy with your community on your YouTube channel, podcast or blog. Information on how to take part is all on the PDF we emailed out to you. So from everyone at the Flash Academy team, we hope you enjoy the Polyglot gathering and we look forward to working with you in the future.
So how many of you received the info from FlashSticks sent from Lydia and Peter along with the gathering mailing? Did you receive that? It was a file, a PDF file introducing you to FlashSticks. If you didn't receive it, just check one of your old mailings. It's probably along in there. So FlashSticks couldn't actually have anybody available at this time to speak with us, to do a Q&A. So they just sent a special video that they created just for the gathering. So for those of you who have any questions about Yozzi or wanted to see the slides again if you missed it, or you just come up and ask me questions, we're going to wrap it up a bit earlier than the regular time of 17:45 because FlashSticks was so short and didn't need the 15-minute block. So feel free to let me know if you have questions or if you're interested in interview or guest blogging or anything on Yozzi in different languages. So, any questions? No? Okay. Thanks, everybody.